and welcome to Drexel Engineering. My name is Sharon Walker, and I have the pleasure of serving as Dean of the College of Engineering. I'm so glad you've joined us virtually today. You know, one of my favorite things about this event is meeting you, our admitted dragons, and the important people in your life who will share in making this great decision with you about the next chapter in your academic career. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge what a different experience this is for all of us right now. And while you may not have imagined making this choice about where to spend this next phase of your life virtually, I encourage you to embrace this time just as we are here at Drexel and the College of Engineering. Our faculty and staff have been working diligently to prepare for a smooth transition for our students' virtual return for spring quarter. We are deeply committed to the safety and academic success of our students, regardless of the environment we are operating in. And that goes for all of you joining us today. Engineering is all about remaining nimble while the world changes around us. It's about striving for solutions in response to humanity's most pressing challenges. And the role of the engineer is more important than ever. And so while it may be a little while until I get to meet you on campus, for now, from my home to your home, I'm excited to share with you how Drexel engineers are paving the way in this brave new world. So what is the world you imagine? Engineering is about more than math and crunching numbers. Engineers are dreamers who make ideas a reality. Engineers are innovators and design thinkers who find creative ways to address the wicked problems facing our world. Engineers are pioneers and disruptors who break down boundaries, collaborate with diverse teams, and question the status quo to find solutions. And we want you to join us in creating a better tomorrow. And just how do we create that better tomorrow? Well, that's what engineering is all about. Take our own Dr. Steve Wren, a professor of Drexel Engineering, who developed a heat engine powered by sunlight that uses air as fluid and produces zero emissions. Or just this past winter, Professor Christopher Sales from Environmental Engineering was in the news for developing technology to help eliminate PFAS, a chemical compound originally used in nonstick pans, waterproofing, and firefighting foams that have become a persistent contaminant of concern in drinking water. I wish I had time to tell you about the unique innovations from all of our researchers, but let me just say, from animatronics and additive manufacturing technologies to underwater robots and water filtration devices, Drexel Engineering faculty and our students are innovating our future. In fact, innovation and discovery are what we do here. Drexel University was recently listed at the highest classification of research activity by the Carnegie Foundation. We received R1 designation for the first time in 2019, and only 34 private institutions in the country fall into this category. As Drexel's flagship and the second largest research enterprise at the university, the College of Engineering played a significant part and is proud of achieving this distinction. From your very first year at Drexel Engineering, you can find opportunities to take part in research. The Drexel Star Scholars Program is a research opportunity for freshmen during their first summer, and our Vertically Integrated Projects, or VIP program, partners large-scale, long-term, multidisciplinary teams of undergraduates with faculty and graduate students, all while engaging with industry to solve current and pressing problems. And solving problems means having an impact. Our engineering students don't have to wait until they graduate. They have an impact today. And that's part of what makes us distinctly Drexel. From your very first term, you can start innovating and having an impact through your freshman design course. Innovation is also about having fun. This image here shows Dr. Karen Cross juggling during a first-year design class to show engineering concepts from a fresh and fun perspective. In addition to getting involved in research, you can also join one of our many student clubs, from professional organizations like the Society of Women Engineers to design groups like Formula SAE, who build race cars. No matter what your passion is, you can make a difference right from the start. One of the most exciting places to start making a difference is in our 20,000 square foot academic makerspace. Drexel Engineering's Innovation Studio puts state-of-the-art equipment right at your fingertips. From day one, you'll have the labs and classes that will incorporate use of our design and fabrication spaces to help you bring your projects to life. What's great about this space is that it is flexible to any student's unique and varying needs and provides plenty of room for building and collaborating. Now, discovering what you want to build and how you want to collaborate is part of the fun of selecting your major. At Drexel Engineering, we have a variety of options, from traditional and theoretical to applied engineering programs. In total, we offer 10 majors and have a wide selection of minors. And if you aren't certain about what major you want to declare yet, that's fine too. About 20% of our first-year students start as undeclared. During your first term, we'll introduce you to the variety of options you have and help you find the right fit. Now, a distinctive element of studying engineering is that you become part of a profession, and at Drexel, we have a unique approach to that too. We help you develop those technical skills in the classroom, but also complement it with our world-class cooperative education, or co-op program. This year marks 100 years of sending our students to work in industry, government, or nonprofit organizations during their course of study. And here's a fun fact. Drexel's co-op program started with just 152 engineering students in 1919, and today over 1,800 students participate in co-op annually. Co-op balances classroom theory with periods of practical experience by employing students for 6-month periods interspersed through academic terms. You'll have the option of a 4-year 1 co-op or 5-year and 3 co-op course of study, although the vast majority of our students stay for the 5 years, culminating in 18 months of professional work experience. Co-op gives you the advantage of working in your field right away and being inspired by what you see. You'll also hear students share that it helps them figure out a new path. Either way, you'll have the confidence in knowing you are pursuing the right field to match your career goals and interests. And with each new co-op cycle, you can try out a new industry, sector, and style of workplace. This is far more than an internship. Through the co-op experience, Drexel Engineering students graduate with a real understanding of the career direction they want to pursue. Now, our students work at hundreds of different companies, and as a result, have both a head start and a full resume. 95% of Drexel Engineering co-op jobs are paid, and many others use this as an opportunity to work in the research field as well. And just over 1/3 of our graduates receive permanent job offers from their co-op employers. Now, if co-op sounds intimidating right now, don't worry. Getting you ready is our job and our priority. The Steinbright Career Development Center is the unit on campus that organizes co-op opportunities for students. They offer a class, Co-op 101, to help you prepare for your co-op and transition from the classroom to the workplace. We also ensure that our curriculum sets you up for success in the professional environment from the start of your very first co-op. When you return to the classroom after co-op, you will have the opportunity to present what you learned on the job to your advisors and the faculty. This gives you an opportunity to reflect on the experience and to figure out if that workplace and type of work was a good fit. You will also have the opportunity to bring your new expertise to the classroom discussion, enriching the learning experience for everyone. That enriching experience means you'll be inspired, which leads to new interests. And we take pride in building flexibility into your course of study so you can take on a subject minor. Or you might consider an intensive but rewarding bachelor's and master's option that allows you to complete a master's degree along with your bachelor's degree in 5 years. You can see here the range of disciplines in which a master's is possible. As I said at the beginning, we are committed to your success, and we take pride in your experience as a Drexel engineer. Our students are actively engaged in 25 different clubs and design teams outside the classroom. Between involvement in the clubs, design project teams, and other activities, our student engineers create a pretty tight-knit community. You'll be inspired by your studies and have fun with your peers as you experience many classes together. One option that expands on this sense of connectedness is the engineering learning community, where you live together in the dorms and take engineering classes together with the same group of students and have many shared experiences right from day one. Now, I mentioned a couple of our student clubs and professional organizations earlier, and while I don't have time to list them all, a few more include the National Society of Black Engineers, the Theme Park Engineering Design Group, the Concrete Canoe, and Cyber Dragons, a cybersecurity club. These clubs are a great way to further practice and develop your engineering and professional skills. Not to mention, they're a ton of fun. I encourage you to check out our website for a more comprehensive list of Drexel Engineering student organizations. We also take pride in providing you with academic support by an incredible team of professional staff. Advising and mentoring programs like the Academic Center for Engineers are run by top-notch academic advisors with the assistance of trained peer tutors. These exceptional folks not only help you schedule classes, but they're also there to help you choose a minor, navigate campus resources, and achieve your personal and professional goals. In other words, we stand ready to help you build the dream you dream of. Take recent graduate Amanda Ireland, who graduated with her bachelor's and master's in 2017. She started out as a co-op working for Boeing. Now she is a CST-100 Starliner systems engineer and mission integration and launch operations engineer with Boeing, working at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. We were a launch pad for Amanda's career success, and we're ready to be a launch pad for yours. In fact, 1 year out from graduation, our bachelor's degree recipients were 98% employed or in graduate school, and nearly all of the alumni are satisfied with the level of responsibility in their positions. Take pilot and NASA astronaut Chris Ferguson, mechanical engineering, class of 1984, and former commander of the Space Shuttle Atlantis. Chris is directing crew and mission systems for Boeing's Starliner spacecraft that is being developed in collaboration with NASA's Commercial Crew Program. The Starliner was designed to accommodate 7 passengers and a mix of crew and cargo for missions to low Earth orbit. For NASA service missions to the International Space Station, it will carry up to 4 NASA-sponsored crew members to conduct time-critical scientific research. Chris is not our only alumni astronaut from engineering, but you'll have to come to Drexel when we're back on campus and meet with me during office hours if you'd like to hear more success stories like his. Beyond Drexel, engineers succeed on the whole. As I said earlier, engineering is more than crunching numbers, and that's true. It's a field where the numbers themselves show the high career demand and top lifetime earnings. These data are from the Bureau of Labor Statistics on the earnings of engineers across disciplines, and they indicate that your engineering degree will prepare you for an exciting and lucrative career ahead. Now, it's easy for me to sit here as Dean of the college and tell you all about the great things that make up Drexel Engineering. I joined the Dragon family a couple of years ago, and I'm proud to be part of this community. There's no greater way to demonstrate the student experience than from an expert. So allow me to introduce Christine Lowe, one of our current chemical engineering students, whose experiences capture the richness and opportunity of Drexel Engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine. I'm currently a senior. I'm doing my bachelor's in chemical engineering and my master's is in material science and engineering through Drexel's accelerated BSMS program, so I can get both degrees in 5 years. And I'm also doing a certificate in technical communication and publishing. So I have done 3 co-ops in the past 5 years. I've had the privilege of getting all of that alongside my master's. So my first co-op was at Norimco in Wilmington, Delaware, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away from Philly. It was in the pharmaceutical industry, and this company is a manufacturing facility for the active ingredients in narcotics. So it was a very heavily regulated facility for an 18-year-old to be working in. But it was still a really great experience because I worked as a process engineer. So I got to make improvements on current processes. I got to work on technical documentation and my report writing. And I also got to see what the core of chemical engineering was. I got to see what reactors and distillation columns were in person. So it really confirmed my interest in chemical engineering, and I was treated like a real engineer. In fact, I was doing some of the work that some of the other process engineers hadn't done before, so they were coming to me asking for help, which was a really interesting experience. It was a great way to really dive into the field and experience what chemical engineering is from a hands-on perspective. Even after I finished my full-time co-op, I had the privilege of working there part-time to finish some of my projects, so since I didn't have any class on Fridays, I would go back to the plant and finish my projects, work on some reports. It was a great way to keep those connections alive and stay in contact with some of the people that I met at my first co-op. The other great thing is that even though I hadn't taken any chemical engineering classes before I went on co-op, my bosses and my coworkers were all really willing to just teach me what I needed to know to do a good job. So by the time I got to my chemical engineering classes, I already knew what was going on. I knew what a reactor and a distillation column looked like in person, so I had a better time doing my homework. So because I had such a good experience in my first co-op, I decided to go to the other side of the chemical engineering spectrum for my second co-op at Johnson & Johnson. I worked as an R&D analytical chemistry co-op. So my main responsibility was to analyze Tylenol, figure out why it was going bad, and figure out how to make it not go bad. So this was also a really great experience because I learned what I didn't want to do, which is just as valuable as learning what I wanted to do. You know, I came to Drexel thinking that Johnson & Johnson was my dream company. My family was really familiar with the brand. I had grown up with all of its products. I came into Drexel thinking that I wanted to change the world through baby lotion or something like that. And to my family, being an engineer at Johnson & Johnson was the image of success. So when I had gotten there and I had achieved this goal, I found that I really just didn't fit in with the company. It was very large and I had a really hard time making the connections that I wanted to. So even though I really enjoyed the work and just the fact that I was there, I found that I really thrive in a much smaller company environment. So for my third co-op, I went to a very small company, which is Crazy Aaron's Putty World. It's a toy manufacturing facility in Norristown, which is about 45 minutes away from Philly as well. And I was a materials and process engineering co-op there. I got to do all kinds of things, from operations to product development, to even a little bit of marketing towards the end of my co-op. Because it was such a small company, I got to do a little bit of everything. I got to make my own glitter. The picture that you see on the slides here is the Ultimate Putty Challenge, which has 4 different colors. And I got to design all of the colors in that set that's sold in stores across the country. It was a great way for me to be able to work on something that you normally wouldn't think engineers would be able to work on. But you find that Drexel engineers can really impact any industry that they choose to, from food to makeup to thinking putty. If you put your mind to it, you really can achieve it. So another part of my Drexel experience was study abroad. I went to Bochum, Germany in my 3rd year, my pre-junior year. And there I got to take classes with other Drexel students who were also studying abroad with me. And I took engineering classes, so heat transfer, fluid mechanics. And I think the best class that I had there was the unit operations lab, where I got to see what an academic lab was like in Germany, which I thought was super cool. They had like mini reactors and things like that. And I got to really experience what it was like to be an international student there and see how they taught engineering and how they developed their own critical thinking process. Besides studying and learning about what it was like to be an engineer outside of the United States, I also had the opportunity to just travel every weekend and have a lot of fun with the other Drexel students. I got to go to so many different countries because it was so close. And as a clarification, that picture in the bottom right is of me in Verona, Italy, where it's the home of the Romeo and Juliet statue, and it is good luck to go to the Juliet statue and rub her right breast. So it wasn't just me, there was a whole lot of people waiting to do the same thing. And I thought it was a really niche opportunity that I don't think I would have done if I were to stay in the US and then just travel to Italy just to do this thing. I really only went because I was so close. And this was a really great way for me to just see different parts of the world and get out of my comfort zone and take advantage of that opportunity while studying. Another big part of my Drexel career has been research. So as Dr. Walker mentioned earlier, I took part of the STAR program, so the Student Staffing Advanced Research Program, where you get to do full-time research the summer after your freshman year. It is a paid position, so you pretty much get paired with a university professor and do a research project that they advise you on. So for my STAR project, I worked on antimony sulfide iodine microrods as a solar cell absorber material. So I got to make this material, figure out whether it was good for solar cells, and then make a poster to present my results. So through this program, I was able to take this research project and present it at multiple conferences across the country. And this really was a great way to develop my communication skills, my thinking skills, and it was also a great way for me to just meet other students who were just as ambitious as I was. And so because I had such a good experience through the STAR program, I continued my research in the same lab, and I had such a supportive advisor that now I've transferred on to a new project on vaccines. So vaccines are a material that was discovered at Drexel University about 10 years ago, and my project is to shine light on it and see what happens. And then from that information, we can then figure out what to do with this material since it's so new. So being able to just be a part of that research project and just be a part of this community that's excited to figure out what to do with this material has been a great experience. And again, I've been able to present that research at different conferences and really grow into myself as a researcher. So because of this positive experience, now I know that I want to pursue my PhD after graduation. I do have a few options lined up for me, and I have yet to make that decision, but I'm really excited for what's to come. So another big part of my life at Drexel here for the past 5 years has been student life. So I've had the opportunity to have leadership positions in the Society of Women Engineers, Alpha Omega Epsilon, which is a professional and social sorority for women in STEM, and the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers. So these three organizations have allowed me to tap into different parts of my identity, not just as an engineer, but just as a person. And I've been able to meet so many cool people that I don't think I would have been able to meet otherwise. I've been able to meet different kinds of engineers, people outside of engineering, and really expand my network outside of that typical bubble that most engineers tend to keep themselves in. So I've also been able to do a lot of community outreach through these organizations, and it's been a really great way to just have some fun outside of my classroom. So as a note, I'd like to say that these organizations aren't just a social thing. They're also a very professional opportunity in that I've gotten my first co-op through my sorority. I've gotten so many old textbooks and notes from upperclassmen that I've met through these groups. So it's a great way not just to build yourself as a person and as a leader, but also as an engineer. And lastly, I'd like to share a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. So I just came up north just to go to college, and I do visit my mom and my sister who are still back in Miami as much as I can. So the great thing about Drexel is that we are just 30 minutes from the Philly airport, so I fly back fairly often. Also, I foster cats through the Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society, and I'd like to say that this slide is a little outdated in that the cat shown here was just adopted, and I do plan on fostering another one, so it's been a great way to just release some stress. I've also tried to be an adult and learn how to cook and bake. Unfortunately, the pictures shown here are of my semi-successes in that I've learned what not to do, which is also very important. I learned how to make Choco Tacos in the freshman dorm, and it was still a great way to kind of use what I had. Another thing that I've been trying to do is snow activities. So because I'm from Florida, I really am not that familiar with snow. So I've gone snowboarding, I made my first snow woman at Drexel Park, and I'm really trying to do some activities that I normally wouldn't be able to do at home. And then the last thing is that my main way of getting exercise and staying fit is group exercise classes that Drexel's gym offers. So the Drexel Gym offers classes like Zumba and yoga, kickboxing, and things like that. And it's a great way for me to stay fit on a schedule because it gives me a reason to go to the gym at a certain time. And actually, because of the current situation, Drexel's Gym is offering virtual group exercise classes, so I still have that opportunity to stay fit all within the comfort of my own home.
Thank you, Christine. What an exceptional college experience she has had. And Christine is just a sample of one. I continue to be impressed by the level of commitment and hardworking nature of our students. But there's no one single Drexel story. Every student's story is different. So don't just take it from me. Join us for one of our virtual chats later this spring and speak with other students about their experiences. Stay in touch with us and allow our staff and students to answer any questions you may have. For now, I leave you with this. What's distinctly Drexel about our engineers is their curiosity, their lack of pretension or entitlement, and a palpable ambition that makes them a joy to teach and work with. It would be my pleasure to welcome you here in the fall as you begin your Drexel engineering adventure, and I look forward to greeting you in person.